Welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Unspoken Truth. We are here, season 2, episode 4. Miss Keena B.
What's up?
I I know. I'm so excited for us that we decided to come back. I cannot tell you how thrilled I am that we're bringing this. I don't know what to call it. What would we call this? This podcast, this video podcast back. If you missed season 1, please go back. I'm so glad that we decided to pick back up with season 2. We have more tales to tell. We have more examples. And
Yes.
also, yeah, exactly. And also, we have some things that we're going to be bringing to the public that I'm so excited to share with everyone when the time is right. But there's more coming, and I couldn't be more excited to share that with everyone. But if you're wondering who we are and what the unspoken truth is, I am Jay Black, the owner of Jay Black and Co. And I am your coaching business strategist. And I handle everything back in to help you build sustainable businesses, going through all 4 stages of your business to build, strengthen, grow, and scale. And if you're wondering what those are, just hold on and we'll explain it all. or you
Hmm.
can or you can visit me on Instagram at jblackandco, and I have tons of videos that explain what those 4 phases are. But who is Miss Keena B? Mrs. Keena B.
Listen, because the
Mrs.
last thing I need is Mr. Baker to hear this and be like, wait a minute. Did something happen that I'm not aware of?
and Mrs. Keena B. She is the coach's coach. She is the coach's coach. So she gonna get your head right so that you can be the best business owner, the best coach that you can be. You're not in competition with no one else but yourself. And so she's going to help you get your head right so that you can show up. What is the unspoken truth? The unspoken truth is an inside look at building, developing, and scaling a sustainable coaching business. And you're going to do that with your hosts, Jay Black and Keena B. And we're going to provide some real solutions, strategy, support, and resources you build your business the right way. And always we're going to come to you unfiltered and always delivering the truth. So on episode 4, what are we talking about? Well, we're going to talk about who you should listen to. That's the thing for today. Now, why do we pick this topic? I'm going to Keena, why did we pick this topic of all topics?
Wait a minute, repeat what you said.
I said the topic for today, who should you listen to? Why did we pick this topic of all topics?
Oh, because there are 99,000 coaches, people out on these intranets giving all of their opinions, and it can cause confusion. It can cause you to feel like you don't know if you're coming or going. And to the point of this title, who should you listen to? So we
Right.
felt when we decided this topic a while ago that this was necessary. This was a necessary piece to the things that we'll ultimately be introducing later. But it was a necessary piece to this puzzle of building the right business for you.
Exactly. Um, there's always going to be multiple people in your ears. Always. Even our voice and our point of view, that's an additional voice that's going to be in your ear. However, it's up to you to decide the level of influence that's going to have on your business building or your decision making. Let me say that, your decision making. And that's not just in business, that's in life. And you have
Yes.
to trust who you are, and you have to trust your vision. So I don't, as now, whenever I come in as your COO, so I'm handling the strategy and the back end for your business. I am depending on you to understand your vision. So, because if you want someone else to understand your vision, you have to understand it and be able to articulate it yourself. And if that is on shaky ground, we're going to spend a lot of time, trying to figure out your vision and less time on building, the actual systems, funnels, your offer, things of that nature. And that's going to kind of, if you think of it like a pyramid, your vision is at the top. Everything else
Hmm.
is going to fall underneath it. And I would say right underneath your vision is going to be your ideal client. So all of
Hmm.
those two things are going to influence everything else that comes out of your business. So if you don't understand your vision, or if you're flip flopping on what you want, how you see your business, how you see yourself, how do you see yourself moving through these streets, then to be shaky. And what's the word that I want to use? It's I can't think of it. There's another word that I want to use, but I can't think of it. But everything else is going to be shaky. It's not going to be solid because you're not solid in your vision. And if you don't trust yourself to make the decision, or to make a decision, then if you don't trust your own voice, I mean,
That
I
and
don't
that
fill in the blank.
she said fill in the blank. And the reality is, if I think about a lot of the people that I've worked with in the past, um, hindsight, really didn't trust their decision making skills, and it was put on me or somebody else on their team to make said decisions that really wasn't their responsibility to make. It wasn't for them to make. It was really for the business owner to make. But because they didn't want to take responsibility, let me just say that, for
Mm,
the decisions that they were making, they laid it out to, whatever title I was, OBM, COO, right hand, whatever. It was left to me. And knowing that now, again, was part of the reason why we needed to have this conversation. Because, and I can't remember her name, Christy Muhammad. She said it's her handles Woman CEO project or something like that. But anyway, she said something a couple years ago, and I was like, that's it. I in that moment I realized where the issues were with some of the people that I was working with at the time. They didn't know how to make decisions, not just
mm.
for their business, but for themselves. It was always, what should I do? What should I do? And don't get me wrong, you surround yourself with people. You should be surrounding yourself with people who are smarter than you in specific areas, especially those areas that you're weak in. So the what should I do question is something that you need to ask, that you should ask. The problem came when I would say, this is what you should do. You did it. And now all of a sudden it's my fault. And I'm like, no,
Mm.
not my fault. It was you asked me a question. I gave you my perspective based on my experience. And for real, my experience is narrow. It's not, I don't have every experience. My experience, you've heard Jay and I talk about us working with the same clients. My experience with the same client is going to be different than Jay's experience. And so her takeaways, her feedback is going to be different than mine. And so when I realized and again gained enough confidence to be able to say, "Oh, you're not ready to make decisions," that's going to be a problem. As the CEO, as the business owner, you have to be great at decision making. And so the
Right.
reality is if that's something that you struggle with, you need to get some help with that, because can't anyone force you to make decisions, and let alone be responsible for the decisions that you make.
Exactly. And I think you said something that really struck with me. Um, that not struck with me, struck me. Um, it's the it's the point about trying to escape responsibility. They're trying to escape responsibility. If this goes wrong, I don't want to be responsible for this. They want to say, well, so told me to do this, and they're supposed to be the expert on blah, 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 blah. So they don't know what they're talking about. It's their fault. So I'm going to go to someone
Hmm.
else. And here's the thing, there is nothing in this world that is guaranteed. There is nothing in this
Nothing.
world guaranteed. So there are going to be strategies that you're going to implement that don't work. Does it mean that it was the wrong strategy? No. It just didn't work at that moment. So don't
Hmm.
abandon things like, okay, this launch didn't hit my. Are you never going to launch again? Is that what you're going to do?
Some
Like,
people do
well,
that.
I'm never
Some
going to
people
do
do
that.
that.
Right. Or, this didn't work, so I'm going to stop doing that and I'm going to run to someone else. You haven't given anything. And here's the problem that I have. We are in a microwave society where you
Hmm.
want
Hmm.
everything to happen now. Everything you want to hit your 30-second button one, two, three times, and that should be a minute and 30, and after that, whatever is supposed to happen. And it's like it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. That
Hmm.
doesn't work on everything. And so, as a business owner, you have to, number one, accept that fact that failure is a part of the journey. Things are not going to work out. You are
Yep.
going to, you're going to trip, you're going to stumble, you're going to fall
Yep.
flat on your face, and you're going to fall in front of the whole world. Okay, accept that and get over yourself.
Yep. Yep.
That's
Because it's
just
then now what?
that's just the the
Now
the
what?
exactly. Exactly. You're going to have to, so the decisions that you make, once you once you accept the fact that things are not going to work out, then stop focusing on the failure of it all and look at the rebound. What happens after that? What happens? How do you recover? What did you learn? What would you do different? What things worked? That's what I love about when I work with. I'm sorry, I started. Oh my goodness, can you tell we comfortable? Because is a part of this. Um, I told you this is kitchen table talk because I will be doing that.
Cup and all.
Exactly right. I got my coffee and got my water over here. Got lip gloss if I need it. I'm just saying. But
Jay,
okay, I do.
that's my lip gloss. Licking my lips is my lip gloss, okay?
Hilarious, hilarious. But see, here's the thing though. Um, when it comes to building your business, again, you have to be able to do an audit or an assessment of whatever it is. It could be your launches, even if you're not season, you need to do an assessment of your website. Do an assessment of where you are in these 4 phases. Do an assessment of how you're showing up as a coach. You always need to be looking to learn and improve. If you are, oh, I'm good, then you're in trouble. You're in trouble. Not to, and I'm going to slightly go here. My a close friend of mine, he said, whenever you start thinking that, and I'm just using this as an example. He said, whenever you start thinking that your relationship with God is okay, you good, there's a problem. Because there's always something for you to work on. You should never be complacent with where you are. And I'm saying that to say that whenever you feel complacent, there's nothing for you to work on, everything's good, whatever, then there's a problem. So you should always be looking to improve. You should always looking, trying to make an assessment of something, and not always like having your hand in tweaking, but looking to see what did I learn? What could I do better? And it doesn't always have to be, okay, so I need to redo my website, or this funnel didn't work, so I need to tear it all down and build a whole new one. No, what you already have, you don't need to get more. You don't need to get more, but look at what you have and what subtle changes do you need to make? What's not working? Where's a gap? Always looking at these things to improve. So I'm saying that to say there are things that are going to be wrong. There are things that are going to be wrong. There's always going to be something that needs to be fixed. So whenever you accept that, then you can you're not afraid to make decisions. You're not afraid to listen to your own voice. You're not afraid of your own vision. You're able to stand 10 toes down and on business and say, this is my voice. This is my vision. This is who I am. And this is how I can help you do A, B, C, and D. And if that changes, so be it. Do you know how many times we've made pivots in our journey? We've talked about that. We've had different versions of our business throughout our collectively 30 plus years.
Mm-hmm.
We
And
have
plan on continuing.
fallen. Exactly. Exactly. I can't tell you how many times I've fallen on my face publicly. Just in this. Just in
Mm.
this episode. There have been glitches, people, things have happened. Okay. All right.
Yep. It's
It'll be
going
okay.
to. Yep.
It'll be okay. You know, the thing is you have to learn, okay, so we know that we need to do this. We need to get a mic. We need to get some headsets. We need to look at this. We need to look at that. Okay, I can't do this during this. I can't do that. And you keep it moving. You keep
Moving.
it pushing.
Exactly.
So don't be afraid to to launch or program. Don't be afraid to get a podcast. Don't be afraid to go live. Don't be afraid to connect. Just do it. Just
Mm-hmm.
do it.
And and I'm gonna say something because I know I was on the other side of hearing people, especially those who I respected and admired, say exactly what Jay just said. Just do it. Just do it. And at the time, I was like, nah, man, I don't have this. I don't have that. I struggle with my voice. There's so many things that was going through my head at the time as to why I shouldn't. And the thing that if you don't hear anything else, the more you launch, the closer you're going to get to what it is you're trying to create. The more that you step out there, the more that you get in front of a mic, the more that you get in front of a camera, the more comfortable you become with doing said things. The more that you stop being complacent. Because when Jay was saying that, I'm like, yeah, because when you're complacent about whatever is going on, whether it's your personal life or your business life, nothing changes. And
Mm-hmm.
yet, you still complain. It's like, I'm okay with how things are, and yet you're like, but I'm okay with how things are. No, you're not okay because you're telling me that you want to strengthen your business, you want to grow your business, you want to scale your business. Well, you can't do that. Any of those things being complacent, like absolutely not. And I think Jay, a lot of times people get complacent because they don't want to look in the mirror. This is going back to what we said about people making decisions and taking responsibility for said decisions. They don't want to look in the mirror and say, what can I do to become better? I don't really want to work on the way that I talk. I don't really want to work on perfecting my craft. Like, I've been in this game for 20 years. You telling me I still have to do that? Yes, that's exactly what I'm telling you. If you want to stay in the game, if you want to get better at what you're doing, you absolutely have to get comfortable with reflecting and assessing where you are. And a lot of times what comes out of that is that you realize that I need help. I need help with my funnel because I've been using this funnel for 99 years. And now on the 100th year, it's not working. So all the
Right.
results that I was getting up until this point is now changed. What do? I don't know because all I know is that in the past it worked. Well, here comes Jay and all of her mics and computers and and designs and copy, and she's going to tell you, um, yeah, we need to redo all of this, but in stages. And so Now all of a sudden you have Jay in your ear saying, okay, we need to change the strategy. We need to do this. And then Jay's like, okay, why is it taking us a year to do this?
Right.
And then she's saying, okay, you need to talk to Keena, because there's some kind of disconnection here that's causing us to be delayed. So now you got two people in your ear, but actually that's not so.
Right.
I'm in your ear because Jay has noticed that you're not moving. It's been a year and we're still on stage number one. Well, how long is it going to take for us to get through this whole thing if we're still on stage number one? You need someone to talk you through what it is that needs to happen, because you're obviously scared. Jay, I called somebody to the carpet yesterday. I said, I need you to come here for a minute because this is the third time that I've seen you. And I'm about to give you the same information that I gave you the first time and then the second time. And so you're about to hear this the third time, but there's going to be a slight change. What are you afraid of? And she looked at me and she was like, well, you ain't have to call me out like that. And I'm like, what else is it? Because the steps haven't changed.
Right.
They're still the same steps. They were the same steps a year ago. They were the same steps 6 months ago. And they're the same steps today. So what is it? What can I help you with to get you over this hump that you are inevitably at? And she was like, you know what? You're right. I just need to make that first step. And I said, that's all I'm asking you to do. I'm not asking you to do all the steps. I'm just asking you to do the first step. But the point is, through your journey of building your business, you're going to need other people. You're going to need wisdom, knowledge from others, because I don't know about you, but I'm not interested in knowing everything.
Right.
However, I can't have, and I did this before, I can't be in 3, 4, 5 masterminds, 3, 4, 5 coaching groups. I can't do it. Because after a while, you feel like you're going crazy. What am I doing? Like, this group has me doing this set of things, and this group has me doing this set of things, and I still haven't brought in a client. Like, what am I doing?
Right.
So, yeah, there's a method to the madness, and I am going to lovingly call this madness, but there is a method to it. And unless you're interested in being, and we joked about this, but unless your goal is to have to be insane, then you, number one, have to get comfortable with listening to yourself, with saying, Keena, Jay, we're going to make this move. We're going to do this based off of such and such's recommendation. And we'll figure out if that's the right move for us. It may not. To Jay's point, you may fall flat on your face. But that's part of the process. That's part of this game.
Right.
And the idea is that you do have to learn from it to keep moving forward. And as I begin to say, or not, like, there's always two sides to everything that we're telling you. You can keep it moving or not. Your choice. But again, that's a decision that you have to get comfortable with making. And until you get to that point where you're good with the decisions you're making, regardless of whether it's your own decision or a decision that you're making from a trusted advisor, you still have to get comfortable with that. Otherwise, you'll find yourself, as I have, down a road and you're trying to figure out how you got there. Like, how did I get there? Oh, because I listened to this person and that person and that person, and now I have a business that looks nothing like what I envisioned, because I forgot my vision. So,
Right.
yeah, Jay, I told you. This was going to be my favorite topic, because you can tell when people have multiple people in their ears. And
Right.
it's disheartening, because I'm like, you've been around for a while. Like, you're a seasoned woman or you're a seasoned man. Why are we struggling with making decisions? Like, why are we still here? And I couldn't get to that point until I actually asked myself those questions. Like I had to look myself in the mirror and say, why are we still here? Why are you
Right.
still on the same rodeo?
Right.
Whoa. Sorry. Behind the scenes, we were talking about boots on the ground. So,
Well, you got those earworms in your ear. Oh my goodness. But you know what? I will say, I will add to what you said. You know, whenever, and I used to be this person, when it would be time to make a decision, like a real big decision, I'm calling my mom. I'm calling my
oh,
mom.
I remember you saying that a lot. Like, I need to talk to my mom first. At first, I was like, first when I
Exactly.
first heard you say that, Jay, I was like, yep, call your. And then I started to admire and respect it. And then I was like, wait a minute, her mom's a crutch.
Exactly. Exactly. And the thing is that there's a fine line between you respect someone's opinion
Mm.
and your reliance on a person's opinion. My mom is the most practical, knowledgeable, reasonable person I know. And in my 40 plus years on this earth, there's just a handful of times her decision have been kind of off. Like, I don't know about that one. So I really, really, I respect her opinion and her input. She's able to see things, blind spots. She's able to see things in advance. So I really, really respect her opinion and her input. But whenever it stopped me from, now I always own my decisions. I've always owned my decisions
Mm.
because it's my choice to either listen to what I say, take that into consideration. So I never had that problem. It was I because of that I didn't allow myself to build my own abilities to reason, to see, to have discernment. Because I was relying on somebody else's.
Hmm.
So, saying that to say, if you are at that point, if you are at that point, and you notice that you're always going to someone for input, or even with your team, is so what do you think? 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 So what do you think?
Hated that. And I don't say hate often, but I hated that.
And it's one thing to, of course you want your team's opinion and their input, and it matters. I'm not saying that. I'm saying about the reliance on it. Whenever you rely on it, that's the issue. Whenever you come to expect their input, and your thing is, well, that's what you said. Okay, we're going with that. Okay, so I need to change that. Okay, I'm going with that. Okay, so I need to do that. Okay, I'm going with that. Yes, you're making the decision, but it's based on them without you thinking about it, without you
Hmm.
exercising your ability to discern, your insight. Whenever you're bypassing all that, that's an issue. And I'm going to tell you, if you see that, you need a coach. If you have a problem making decisions, if you have a problem relying on your own
Mm.
abilities, your own discernment, your own, if you have that problem, if you have a problem taking accountability for the aftermath, you
and maybe something else too, but we ain't gonna talk about that
Right.
right
But I'm like, then you need to make an appointment with Keena,
now. Not me. You said
not
not
me,
me.
not me. But you need to see Keena. You need to have that conversation with her because I'm going to be honest with you. I'm the person that whenever you're ready to make decisions, then we can talk. Then we can, because the first part of what we said, that what the truth is, I said that it's an inside look at business building, developing, and scaling. My focus is helping you do the
Things.
building.
Yep, the things.
I'm into I'm the strategist. But she's also the other business. Keena is the other side of business building. That's helping you build who you are as a business owner and as a coach. She's in the developing the skills that you need in order to manage the business that you're building. She's helping you scale. So take you already have to a whole other level. So she provides that. That mindset stuff, that's her. Me, whenever you ready for a business,
And do the things, as I'm gonna
when
keep
you ready,
saying.
when you ready to do the things, then I'm here for it. If whenever you ready to put rubber to the road, that's what I'm here for. And that's why together we make the best pair, because even along this journey, you're going to quickly find out that you need to. You're going to need someone that can do the things, but also someone that's going to hold you accountable. Someone that's going to continue to help you look at your why. Look at your toolbox, your internal toolbox. You're going to need someone that's going to be your cheerleader. You're going to need that other person. I, I, I don't have that.
So
But
I hate to laugh, but Jay has been like that forever. Like I'm out. I'm
exactly.
coaching you. I'm out. Like you don't even bother because I don't understand why if you're here, why we're struggling to move forward. Like why are we?
And you know what? I have to be honest. I have to be honest. It's not that um, I'm not, I kid and say I'm not interested, but I'm kidding. But the thing is I'm, I am a strategist and a consultant. So the part of my brain that that's what I use in business building. That's my strength. Even in my friendships, I am definitely the person that's like, okay, so this is what you need to do. If I am, you know how they say guys look to solve a problem? How they say guys like to solve a problem? Don't tell your man, whatever the problem is because he's looking to, provide a solution.
Mm-hmm.
That's me. Don't tell me there's a problem because I'm like, look, this what needs to happen. You need the A, B, C, and D. This needs to da 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 da. This is the insight on it. This is what that means. That. If you looking for that whole soft and cozy, nah. That's
Yeah, that ain't you.
I I of course I know how to deliver it in that nice cozy way. But so why did we make that decision? Girl, why are you still choosing those type of men? Girl, why are we still I'm not gonna ask you a whole bunch of questions. I'm gonna be like, look, girl, why are we still in this? Why are we still doing this? So,
And here
girl,
and here I am like, in order for me to help you, I need to understand why. And we might be here for a minute because you might not even understand why. But we need to understand why. Because otherwise we just gonna repeat what you just did over and over and over again. And yeah. So Jay said I will
I'm
answer
like,
the how, what, when, where, but the why, that ain't me. I don't care why. I just want it done. I just get it done.
nope. But see, and you as coaches, that resonates with you because your biggest point of view is the interest in the why. That's why you're a coach. You
Mm-hmm.
want to help other people understand the why and develop that skill set. Um, why am I picking the same type of guy, or why am I a procrastinationist?
A procrastinator
Procrast-
is the word.
procrastinator. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Why am I a procrastinator? And I say that word 50 million times a day. So why did I not know that? Okay. Anyway, I just felt creative. But why am I a procrastinator? Um, whatever those things are, as a coach, you want to help other people figure that out and how they can out of that. So the things you that aren't your strongest suit, they're mine. However, rarely are we able to look internally and use that same strength on ourselves.
True. Very true.
So you need someone that has that strength that can look at you. That's why you need a coach. That's why Kina
Mm-hmm.
is the coach's coach. Because rarely are you able to take that and and apply it to yourself. So, to round this conversation out, who should you listen to? The the ultimate answer to that is that you should listen to yourself. You have the power to shape your life to whatever you want it to be. You have the power to shape your business, whatever you want it to be. Are there wrong answers? Yes. Are there right answers? Yes. But those things vary from person to person, situation to situation. So, one strategy, you might be a part of a mastermind, you might hire a strategist, you might hire a coach, whatever the case is, and they can tell you to do three things. All three of those things may not work for you. Does that mean that that person doesn't know what they're talking about? Does that mean that the whole strategy is wrong? No. Maybe it's the timing, maybe it's the implementation. There are a lot of factors in there, and there's nothing guaranteed. And that's okay.
Oh,
That
okay,
is a
Coach Jay.
Huh?
Okay, Coach. I said, okay, Coach Jay. Wait a minute. I need you to rewind that and listen to that yourself because listen, sounding like a coach to me. She said it for 2 seconds. It's all you
I
gonna
have
get from me. You got 2 seconds.
I have coach moments. I have coach moments. But um but here's the thing, and that's okay. If you fall flat on your face, it's okay. If you fall in front of the world, that is okay. It's all about the rebound. It's all about the rebound. It's
Mhm.
all about how you pivot, how you move afterward. It's all about what you learn afterward.
Yep.
So step into your power as the CEO of your business, the CEO of your life. Own your power to make decisions, but also own your responsibility to take accountability of what happens afterwards. No one is to blame but you. Whenever things go right, you own that,
Let's practice the other side of that.
right? Whenever things go right, do you run to that other person and be like, "You were right. This whole thing is on you. You did this." No, you don't.
You
You don't.
should. Let me just insert. You should be doing that, but
Mm, tea
again,
time.
we digress.
Sips tea. Um, but yeah, so the thing is, you should go ahead, listen to yourself. Don't be. And yes, is it something that's easy to say? Yes, it is. It definitely
Huh.
is something that's easier said than done. But like all things, it gets better with practice.
Absolutely.
So why not start today?
Yes.
All right, Keena, anything else you wanted to add while we close this out?
Yeah, you did a great job. The only thing that I wrote was, the last thing that I wrote was business owners, grown folks, don't blame others for decisions that they make. Okay?
Mm,
Like, no one's driving my bus but me. And when you start to realize that the minute that you blame others, you are saying that they control you in some way, shape, or form. So, yeah, that's how I want to end this.
it, it, and
She's like, mm-mm.
just one more thing. Um, if someone is always, if you're relying on someone to always make the decision, or if you're always relying on someone's input, is that really your business? Is that really
Mm,
your
mm,
life?
mm.
Just something to think about. Just something to think about.
Yes, please and thank you. Please and thank you.
All right, y'all. Thank you so much for joining us. Those who joined us live, thank you so much. Those who are going to watch the replay or listen to the audio of this podcast, because yes, we are official a podcast.
We got an
Um,
RSS feed and everything,
I
y'all.
know, right? Yeah, it's gonna wear off. This is gonna wear off a little. You're gonna get tired of us saying that. It's gonna wear off in a little bit, but
But give us 6 months.
right. uh, but at any rate, so Thank you so much for showing up for us today. I hope you were able to glean something from today's conversation. If you have any questions, then please you can drop them in the comments. You can definitely DM us if you're watching us on either LinkedIn, on Facebook, or Instagram. You can follow us, and let me go ahead and put this here. You can follow Kina at Simply Kina B. It's there on the
Hmm.
screen. You can follow her on Instagram at Simply Kina B. You can also follow me at J Black and Co. on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. And if you want to either schedule some time with Kina or myself, please go ahead and send us a DM and we will send you the links so that you can get on our calendar. Because it's one thing to provide the content, it's another thing to provide the resources, to provide the support one on one. And we definitely want to do that with you. So go ahead and reach out to us in our DMs, respectively, and we will make sure to follow up with you. I hope you tune back into us. Next Thursday, we come to you live on all of the platforms on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. We come live Thursdays, 12 p.m. Eastern, for the Unspoken Truth. Again, we're always providing the inside look at business building, developing, and scaling of a sustainable coaching business. We always give it to you unfiltered, and it's always the truth. Again, thank you for joining us. This is your J Black. That's Kina B. And you could have been doing anything in the world, but you chose to spend this time with us, and we are eternally thankful and grateful. All right, y'all. Bye.